Okay, this is where we left off on Monday. They put some code in here to make the add grade button work, and they made us a new empty list that's going to hold all the grades. When you click on the add grade button, it's going to take whatever you typed in there, put it into this variable called new grade, and then it's going to move that and add it to this empty list here. And it's going to update the screen. So we want to, they also made our update screen function for us. So it's going to take our final results and put them into print them into the grades label there. So we don't have to worry about that. We just want to filter the list here and make it add each grade as they get added in, and then we wanted to average them out. It's a little tricky. We definitely need some variables. We're going to start with that. The sum is going to start at 0. Now here's the tricky part. You have to put them inside this on event. We're not making them global variables. We're making them local this time, which is the opposite of what we usually do, because we want it to refresh. Every time we click the average grade button, we want these variables to go back to 0 so that it only adds one grade at a time. We have 3 variables. The sum is going to be the running total of all the grades put together. The count is going to change each time we add a grade into the list, so we know how many grades we have total, and then we can take the sum, divide it by the count, and we'll get the average. So tricky, but we're there still. So in our variable blocks, we're going to get this one, the third one down, the x equals nothing. Don't reset the variable. We're just going to change it. So we're going to change sum to, go into our math, get a plus. Okay, so we want the sum to be, if we go into our variable blocks and we get this list 0, put it over here. We want the sum to be whatever. So when we have the first, when there's no grades in there, sum's going to be 0. And then we're just going to, whatever the running total is, we want to add what we just added to the list. And to say that, we're going to say grades list I. And because we're resetting the variables in this on event, I is always going to be 0. So it's always going to take the running total and add the next number that we added to the list, the newest one. And that will just keep going every time we click on the average grade button. And then we're going to also say, oops, math. Let's do, no, okay, oops, sorry. Let's go show text. The easiest way, press your cursor there and say count plus plus. And that's going to be count equals count plus 1. Every time we add one, we want the count to go up. Go back to show blocks. All right, and now the kind of back to normal math, we're going to say, we're going to change the average to, need a division, right? Because for averaging, you take the entire sum, and divide it by the count, which is how many things we have in the list. And the last thing, we'll just go into set text. Come on, keep moving. There it is. Set text of the label, average grade label, to all right. And that's all we really need to make that work.